Our TNF parlay hit. Me and Gronkster will celebrate that loaded show on a Friday. Christian Kirk having a career year. He has Cam Taylor-Britt to deal with. He's having a breakout season of his own. Bengals and Jags on Monday Night Football. Jacksonville's first MNF since 2011, since the rise of Adele, one of Kim Kardashian's divorces, bridesmaid success, and Beyonce's baby announcement. That's what I learned this morning. On the other side of the matchup, the Bengals. What a big spot for the defense. Coach Lou is on the show. Lou Anarumo with a big spot to prove some things. And everyone's like pretending the sky is falling for the Bengals. Like, is it? They're one game back. He joins us. And last night, Duran Bland. Wow, 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 wow. Joe Haden, the perfect guest to break it all down. The show, he's going to break down Duran Bland. What was DK thinking? What were they able to do? I talked about it yesterday, shaving angles. DK Metcalf, when I watched that presser this week, and I brought it up so much yesterday, I was like, why is he being so nice? What he knew. He knew it was going to happen, and he did it, and they still lost because the Cowboys got a win. They snuck away. What an absolute show in Jerry World. Dallas rips off 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to pick up the 41-35 win, just the fifth game in NFL history that we've seen without a single punt. And this one has to go down. I don't know this, but like in terms of TNF action, it's got to be like top 5 all time, right? And it also has huge, big impact on the NFC playoff picture. The Cowboys are a game back in the win column of Philly. If the Eagles lose to the Niners this weekend, all of a sudden the NFC East could be up for grabs as the Birds head to Dallas next week. This is getting so good. Things are fuzzy. Nothing's in place. Nothing's cemented. The paint has not dried on this playoff picture, and I love it. And I don't love it for Seattle. Oh, I was so excited for 3 quarters. I was like, I said on the show, Gino, show who you are. Third straight loss. That drops them all the way down to the last wild card spot. If the Packers or Rams win this weekend, they'd fall out of the playoff picture entirely. I have a feeling Eric Wheelo, very happy about the Cowboys winning, aren't you?
I am thrilled, Kay. The Packer back in it. We got the Chiefs this week. We're going to do it. We're going to make this plot thicken. That's what we're doing at Lambeau this week.
I texted you late last night, and I apologized for that. And I said, McCarthy against Seattle, which is in the third quarter, I think.
Yeah.
Not that great.
No, a tear literally dropped on my eye. NFC Championship game. I went to bed mad. Yeah. Thank you, Kay.
I had to bring you up and then plop you right down, as we do here on the Up and Adam Show. Okay, as for last night, that's what the Cowboys did. It was up and down, and then it was really up at the end. The Dak story continues again. Another hot streak, another 299 yards, another 3 touchdowns. And look at what he's done over the last 6 games. And I'm going to give credit to Matthew Hamilton here because everyone in sports media is talking about Dak MVP, Dak Offensive Player of the Month. Hamilton last weekend was talking about it. We were ahead of it because he was like, we have to talk about these numbers. I don't know what you care about, what you think, or how far they're going to get, or if they're a Super Bowl contender. He's making the case and building the narrative and the story for an MVP case. Now, everyone's talking about it, and for good reason. Dak's throwing more yards per game than anyone. Best passer rating in the league. I'm so proud that we were ahead of this, honestly. As a show, Hammer, you're the best. And the wildest thing here is the 20 touchdowns that he's had. No one's ever had more than 11 in that span. He's been the best quarterback over this past month, and that's really undeniable. As always, with Dak Prescott, he's never going to be fully embraced. I mean, some of us make fun of, of him being a father. I saw that in the Fox world as well. With a friend of FanDuel here, I'll give him a headlock when I see him next. But there is criticism, and it is warranted. He's never going to be fully given the hug if he doesn't win big marquee games. If the Birds come into Dallas next week and just wipe the floor with the Cowboys, fair or not, no one's going to remember talking about this stretch, this brilliant thing that's happening right now. No one's going to care at all. And the way Dak's been talking, it's clear he knows it, and he is focused on the larger goal here. I do want to touch on the Seahawks just a little bit because as disappointing as it was, and they looked so good in those unis. I was so excited to talk about them this morning. It was really disappointing to lose this one after grabbing an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter. And you see Gino and DK, like they look so good out there, and they're learning sign language to trash talk, like the heaviest of all pettiness. All the beautiful things were happening up against a top defense. It was a big deal. Even though they lost, it was a big deal. I know there's no whatever. Everyone's going to clown on this. But if the Seahawks are going to right the ship and work their way into the playoffs, they need this 300-plus yard, 4-touchdown, threading the needle Gino, okay? They need that guy to show up. The one I asked for yesterday. They need the trash talking, sign languaging, DK Metcalf, who had a lot of confidence all week going into this one. We need to see that, okay? And it gives you a little glimmer of hope if you're a Hawks fan, that they can do some damage in this stretch run. I do gotta say, it's not gonna be easy. Seattle's got a matchup against the Niners next week, and then they have, I believe, the Eagles after that. So it's going to be tough sledding for Seattle. Speaking of the Niners and Eagles, we do have to talk about the NFC Championship rematch we get to witness on Sunday. We've done it every day here on the show. I'm not bored of it. I usually get bored of these tedious matchups, hyping them up. Is it going to look? This is big. This is the NFC's top two teams in records and in grade A, top of the conference beef, mind you. Eagles best the Niners. They move on to the Super Bowl last year. That week, leading up to the Eagles' loss to the Chiefs, I had Mr. Christian McCaffrey, who should be the MVP this season. He was on set with me following the loss to the Eagles, ahead of the Eagles' loss to the Chiefs, and he talked about what went on and his feelings on that game. If I know anything about you, is that you're still a week and a half ago in the NFC Championship game that didn't really pan out the way any of us thought that it would. Adversity, injuries. How is that sitting with you now removed over a week?
It's tough. It's really tough. It's, you don't want to make excuses, obviously, but it just sucks because we wish we had, a healthy quarterback for a full game and just kind of see how the game would have panned out. It's a really good team that we played, but it feels like something got stolen from you, and just wish it would have played out differently. Wish we could have ran that one back.
I remember after this interview, it went super viral, and everyone was saying, nothing got stolen from you, and Eagles fans are really, and this beef was really going, and I was super surprised because from a Niners perspective, you kind of can't blame them for feeling this way. When he gave me that answer, I thought it was a bland answer. I thought it was like, yeah, obviously, you thought something stolen from you. Like, I don't have a rooting interest, and I didn't back then, one way or the other, but I do remember feeling disappointed that we didn't get to see heavyweights square off at full strength, but it doesn't diminish what the Eagles did. I'm not saying that. Don't come for me, Eagles fans. And there's obviously like a great chance they would have won it anyway. As a fan, there could have been a more satisfying matchup, and I talked about that the very next morning. This goes viral. The beef translates. Debo's hanging up on people. Then he's got, the Bradbury, this, that. And that's what makes games so exciting in rematches. 10 months, guys. We've been waiting for this. We're finally going to get some of our questions from that NFC title game to answer. Questions that the Niners, they've put that on their shoulders. Like, we would have won if we had everybody out there. That's saying a lot, knowing they're going to have to probably contend and maybe have their pass to the Super Bowl go down the same sort of journey this year. They say that knowing what that must do to Brock Purdy. When you're like a Debo or an Ayuk, when you're a Christian McCaffrey saying, if we were healthy, we'd probably take you. It wasn't a fair situation. Well, that's putting a lot of pressure on a guy who's already getting beat up by Colin Cowherd for wearing his hat backwards. You aged Colin Cowherd 90 years in that clip. And that happened, and I sort of brought it up to Debo this week. He shut me down on it. Debo said his poise, his confidence, I don't give an F. I'm all out of Fs. I don't have any to give you. When it comes to pressure, yeah, look, he's all out, and he said it himself yesterday.
Yeah, I hear stuff around the facility just in terms of Debo said this or whoever said this, and I get a laugh out of it and stuff. It's funny. But for myself, it's like I said, it's another game for me. I have to be prepared to play football, make the right decisions consistently, handle the operation of the offense. So that's where my mind has to be, not all the other stuff. So I obviously don't get caught up in it. But I think, for Debo or, guys that have played the game for a while to have fun with it, they can do them, and I laugh about it when I hear it. So, but I have a job that I have to do, and that's just how I handle it.
He kept getting asked about, people say that you're the weak link. I think he was literally asked that you're you are the weakest link. Goodbye. He's not even old enough to remember that show. And they were asking him, truly, I think it was weakest link was the phrase that was used. I thought that was the clip that we were going to show. And he was like, I haven't heard that. I don't care. I'm just here to try to help this team win. So they believe in him. Everybody believes in him at least in that locker room. There's, of course, all this Niners media. Nobody wants to believe in him. So my question is not even who's going to win this game. It's always what is it going to change? What is it going to mean? My big question personally, if the Niners get the W here and Brock has another quality win, he has about 300 yards, does it actually change anything about how he's seen, how he's questioned, how he's valued? I'm going to say, and not to be negative, I don't think so. Not yet. And not even winning a Super Bowl. I think I'm still going to hear system, Shanahan, defense, surrounding pieces, loaded, flags on the other side. Brady won 3 Super Bowls. I lived in New England, and all I would hear all the time is low draft pick, system, doesn't throw down the field. He could tie his shoelaces behind that Velveeta cheese block of an offensive line. Like, he's got it better than everybody. He's got Bill Belichick. I heard that when he was 3 Super Bowls deep. I was hearing that about him. Montana faced the same kind of BS. I don't know if it's like the low draft pick. Might be the hat backwards. I don't know. He's going to have to work super hard to change the narrative. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, he might get that like Flacco, Jim McMahon-y defense really won it. It might be that. But the only thing, and the thing that I think is the coolest about this is he does not care. I believe that. I believe Brock does not care. Nobody in that locker room cares, and I sort of sleep better at night knowing all of that. All right, we've got Coach Lou checking in. We've got, the guy that he's building a defensive mastermind game plan against in Christian Kirk. He is on the show. Joe Haden will tell you how Deron Bland got and then got ungot at the end. And is it sustainable? Is DQ scouting for this sort of aggressiveness? Is it going to bite them in the ass at some point down the stretch when they're facing a Devontae Smith, when they're facing an A.J. Brown? I want to get into all of that. But, guys, the NFL season continues, and we have partnered with Smirnoff. It has been so fun, personally and as a show. They're helping fans get ready for game day, baby. They got a lineup of cocktails. They've got recipes. They're football themed. It's really fun to get in the spirit here. Smirnoff giving FanDuel fans more ways to win. Smirnoff number 21 Sunday primetime cocktail pick'em. Longest name ever, but it's a lot of fun. Every week, head to FanDuel.com/Smirnoff. Answer 7 cocktail themed questions about the Sunday night game for a shot at $10K in prizes. Hammer, I'm getting rid of my coffee and I'm bringing in the completion Cosmo. We'd like to libate. Is that a verb? Libation? Libate?
Sure.
We like to have a cocktail. Like to slug one back once or twice here on the show. We got a tough question here at FanDuel.com/Smirnoff. Which quarterback completes more passes Sunday night? Is it Mahomes or Jordan Love? Mahomes isn't going up against Coach Lou, so he might actually do really well.
That is a tough one, and I love how they have to pre-make the drinks for you now. That lasts about 2 weeks, where you're allowed to make your own. But I'm going to go with Jordan Love here, because I think the Packers are just going to have to throw more. We always see a few games a year out of Andy Reid and the Chiefs where they kind of lean on the ground game a little bit more. I feel like Lambeau against the Packers' 27th ranked run defense is kind of the perfect recipe for that. So I think we might see Kansas City lean a little bit more on the run game, whereas Jordan Love's going to have to air it out.
Let me tell you something. When I had one of these last 2 Fridays ago, we didn't have a show last week, I got dropped off at home. I had to get a ride home, and then I had an appointment. I got in my car, and I go, I can't drive. I had to get out of my car and get an Uber. And I was like, I just spent money because of this fantastic completion. I literally could not drive. It was 9:15 in the morning. Okay, so you're picking Jordan Love. I'm going to go with, listen, I'm going to go with Mahomes. Chiefs are struggling. He's completed 26 passes per game, second most in the league right now. And like I said, he does not face Coach Lou Anarumo. If I don't eat in the morning, I'm going to get drunk in 3-6. We love this, guys. Head over to FanDuel.com/Smirnoff. I'm slurring my words already. What? Kat, what did you put in this? No, this is amazing. Guys, there's so many recipes, not just this one. There's an amazing lemonade. There's a lot of fun football-themed stuff to get you in the mood for game day and $10,000 in prizes. So check it out. After this, yeah, Christian Kirk's on the show. He wants to score. Christian Kirk told me he wants to score 2 touchdowns. Not on this guy. Not on Coach Lou. Bengals fans, let's ride. When what came up? Oh, I know. Look behind you. Look behind you. It got real. I was like, oh boy, key change. Oh, thank you. How did that go? Hamilton. Excellent call out by you on not letting me make the cocktails anymore. Well done. Yeah, that looked cool. When did that fanciness happen?
This morning.
You just cooked it up. Derek, just back in the lab.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I love that Purdy stuff.
The Purdy stuff?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have it like that this morning, and then I was like, I think we went Pollyanna, and we're like, it's gonna, and he'll prove people wrong, but it's like, it's not gonna free. It's like Tua. It's not gonna change anything.
It's not
Well, Hamilton was arguing me, and he said, literally, he was in 8th grade when Tom won his first one, and he goes, no, they were like, because nobody thought he'd beat the Rams, right? So then he goes, I guess like everybody really celebrated it. But just because you celebrate something doesn't mean that you believe that they're a great quarterback. Like, you look at all the quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not Nick Foles because he's obviously a little different. But I'm trying to think of like the game managing. You got like, and I think it's draft pick. I think it really is. Think about this, Matthew Stafford. No one ever was like he can't do it. Everyone was just rooting for like he can do it. Why is that? Because of his arm, his build.
Right? I mean, that's the college you went to.
What other reason? It's like we cannot progress to a point as a.
The thing I see is like, okay, so going to next week, Dak loses. He's second in MVP voting, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Brock is sixth. Brock wins tonight. Dak loses next week.
Yeah.
I think Brock's moving up to like a top 3.
You can't give it to Brock. If you give it to Brock over Christian, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I really did. I had like an acupuncture appointment and I was like buzzed and I got in the car and was like, what are you doing? You can't drive.
You ever been to the dentist drunk?
No, but I like going to the dentist and like asking for the gas.
Oh yeah.
My dentist
What do they
is
call
the
it?
best. I'm like, oh, I have like a cleaning, and I'm like,
The juice.
give me the juice. Okay. It's called a Pronox machine. If anybody wants to, Pronox.
Hey,
if anybody
dude.
wants to, if anybody gets me for Secret Santa,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
what
let
I'd
you know.
like. The Pronox machine
My
from the
elf on the
dentist.
shelf.
That's my elf on the shelf. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. No. But that's annoying. What happened? What happened? What happened?
What happened?
I could not be more excited about our next guest here on the Up and Adam show. I believe in August I named him my favorite coach heading into this season. So he's got a lot of pressure on him, not just because Joe Burrow's gone, because he is, in fact, that man. 12 seasons as an NFL coach, named, let's see, 5th season as defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, the pride of Staten Island, New York. Mad scientist Lou Anarumo, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
I'm so excited to talk to you.
Same here.
We got a big game. We'll get to that or whatever. Last night, I'm looking at this. 76 points between the Cowboys and Seahawks, 0 punts. As fans, I watch a game like this and I'm loving every second. It's like explosive. It's fireworks. What kind of a nightmare is this for you as far as a box score?
I mean, I'm cringing every time there's another, 20-yard explosive play. Every other run is long, and it's like, all right, I get it. Everybody likes this stuff, but not as a DC, that's for sure.
Unlike some DCs who kind of stick to their system, their style of play, no matter who the opponent is, you're sort of known for being a mad scientist. DJ Reader literally called you that. You're brilliant when the X's and O's come into play. And I personally think that you adapt to what's in front of you and the game plan for each individual opponent. We've seen you do this with the Chiefs, with the Bills, of course. What's sort of the secret behind, and I know you're not going to tell me, but like what goes behind the game planning that sort of leads to giving those top offenses fits?
I mean, I think what it is, it's just a real, we got a great staff, we got great players that can learn the stuff that we do. And we just, like a lot of guys, we just try to take away what they do best and try to make them play a little bit left-handed and not give the quarterback the same look, on a consistent basis. And I think I've got a DB background. I've coached DBs for a long time. And, you got to affect the quarterback, especially the great ones. And that's what we try to do.
I mean, how much is on the players? You mentioned them, but give them some love. Like, you need the right kind of players and the type of players to pull it off, right?
100%, and it's a ton on them. And I'm not out there tackling or running or trying to knock down balls, thank God. So we've got smart players. We got guys that are super talented, and they're able to take advantage. And we try to tell them the whys. We try to tell them, hey, this is why we're doing this. This is why I'm going to call that. Not just, hey, make sure you do this on this particular call. Give them the ins and outs of it, and our guys love that. And we've done well when we played those type of guys.
I was watching Deron Bland last night, and obviously they're so aggressive, and Diggs was like the same sort of aggressiveness. And I'm like, DQ they must be scouting for that. Like, they must be coaching that, and that you can only really do that when you know that the Dak, and you have faith that he's going to go down and score every time. So, like, I've heard DCs like Steve Spagnuolo talk about how having, a capable or like Joe Burrow, brilliant quarterback on the other side, sort of like gives them the luxury of being more aggressive. So having Joe on the other side obviously affects how you call your defense. What is the biggest change in your defense since losing him?
I just think that, we've got to tighten up everything and just realize we're going to try to give Jake and the offense as good a field position as we can. We're always trying to do that. I just think, when you got a guy that's coming in for the first time, you want to try to give him some short fields and takeaways. We've done a really good job with that this year. And I think in order to get to win these games that are coming up, we've got to continue that and allow them to do that. So, we're going to take calculated risks in the back end, knowing when they have help. And I think you mentioned Deron Bland, who's done an unbelievable job taking the ball away and scoring. We had one last week where DJ Turner picked the ball up and we were all screaming, score, score, score. So, we'll see how that goes. But it's certainly in the back of our minds for sure.
Coach, what is that? Why do you have a sign in the back that says your name on it like that? What is that sign?
On the right?
Yeah.
That's from the Super Bowl.
Oh,
so,
I love it.
Yeah, it was in my locker in the Super Bowl, so I keep it right up there just to remind me.
Yeah, just to remind you, just so we can get back there. Listen, people have moved on from this Bengals team. Let's just get into it. People are like, oh, the season's over. And it might be. It might be. That's the noise outside. But I look at it and I'm like, y'all are just one game back. The sky is falling on Twitter. What is the sky like inside that building?
Well, that's the great thing about the culture we've built here in Zach, and we got guys that just don't flinch. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we were 7-6. We had just lost to the Chargers, and we rally and win key games. So I just think the makeup of the guys that we have, the coaches that we have, we're not going to flinch. We're going to keep going forward, and we're not the hot topic right now, and that's just how things are these days. And but we'll just keep going about our business, and we had a heck of a practice yesterday, and hopefully we'll show well on Monday night.
And there's a lot of talk, and Twitter's sort of the gauge of everything. And Jesse Bates is killing it. I'm sure that brings a little bit of a tear to your eye watching him with these amazing plays and a great player. But let's be honest here. There was talk about your defense not being able to do anything without Bates or Von Bell. And then you've got these young cats that you're coaching up, like Cam Taylor-Britt, who's having a breakout season. Like, how incredible is he?
I think Cam's done a great job taking the ball away. First of all, great play there by Jesse.
Let's see it again.
I saw that and I saw it the other day, and I went back and watched it. And we're happy for Jesse, happy for Vaughn. We've got some good young players here that they're only going to get better with time.
Did you teach him this?
100%. Just ask him.
What did you teach him on this play?
Just don't drop it, catch it, and run. But no, our guys, it'll pay dividends. Jesse certainly wasn't the same player his first year that he is now. And, experience will help all these guys as we go forward.
Joe's in the building. Like, where's Joe right now?
It's so funny you asked that question. He's such a football junkie that, he sat in on he's sitting in on defensive meetings just to see how that stuff goes. And so he can pick up. He was in our third down install meeting this morning on defense. He's interacting with the players. Yeah, he's one of a kind, that's for sure.
Is he a dream for Jake Browning? I know I saw him at practice sort of standing by him. Like, I can't imagine that even just the osmosis isn't a great thing.
I would imagine that that whatever Joe's given him and seeing things from a different perspective, it can only help Jake. The coaches are great, but to have a guy that's has done it at such a high level, that's got to be a great resource for Jake.
Coach, you know Joe in a very special way. Like, you go up against him. Obviously, you see him around that building. He's sitting in your defensive meetings. That's absolutely bananas. What sort of has been the most impressive part, or what stood out to you about how he's handled this adversity? The wrist, and you had the other injuries, the calf, all of it.
He never, another guy that really, truly never flinches. You would never know. His look on his face is the same as, getting ready to play the Rams in the Super Bowl, or he just got off surgery. He's sitting in his locker and we're having a conversation yesterday. He's always the same. I think it's a great trait to have, especially at his position, with all the stress and all the stuff that's on his shoulders. The guy never flinches. You'd never know that his heart was ticking at a rate that it is, I'm sure, at certain points. I'm fascinated by him in that regard, on how well he's able to handle these things that are thrown at him.
Does he talk in the defensive meeting, or does he just sit in the corner?
No, I asked him a question. He responded today very well, and he made it very profound. Like, hey, I would do this against that, and I didn't expect anything else from him. He was terrific this morning.
Take that, Trevor Lawrence. See you Monday night. Big game in Jacksonville. It really is a big game. It's Monday Night Football. Big spot for you, of course, because you're really going to have to shoulder, the loss of Joe Burrow and do your thing out there, which you will. This Jags team has not played on Monday Night Football since 2011. And I don't know if you're on Twitter, but everyone's sharing. It's a big deal. It's been a long time. They're all sharing photos of them from 2011, like people on the team and just, Jags fans on Twitter. We found a photo of you from 2011 where you were coaching at Purdue. What does this photo bring to mind?
Wow, that's a long time ago. Just great days at Purdue. We had some great players there. Joe Tiller is our head coach, was great. I learned a lot from him. Recruiting I didn't love, so some good and some bad things, but that's funny.
Coach, is it true that you had Raheem Mostert on your squad?
Good old Raheem. Yeah, we were. I think Gary Nord recruited him. We had him on our team, and Ryan Kerrigan was there at the time. We had some really good players. It was a good group. Let's
get into Coach Lou here, because you think that was a long time ago. We actually didn't stop there. We never do. We dug a little bit deeper, Lou, and we found this doozy. I mean, you're a stud. This is you. You're such a stud. This is you in Staten Island, quarterback in your high school team. You went to Wagner to play quarterback. How did you go from this fresh-faced quarterback to defensive mastermind? What happened?
I mean, what are we doing with that? I mean, look at that. Good old the Wagner Falcons right there. Those will make all my high school guys proud. My high school coach, who I still talk to all the time, he'll be proud too to see the Falcons up on the screen. I never could get away from it. I went to college and thought I would do some things, and then I always went back to the high school to try to help out, and before you know it, I was GAing at Syracuse, and kind of the rest is history from there.
But how'd you get to the defensive side of the ball?
It's funny. That was the GA position that was available at Syracuse. So if they would have had a quarterback job, I guess I would be a quarterback, guy today. But that was the job, and then once you're in that kind of mode, I didn't want to change. I just felt, okay, I had a good experience of learning the offensive stuff, and now, with the defensive background that I have, so it helped over the years for sure.
So when I look at this photo, and you're a Staten Island guy, your name's Lou Anarumo, like you got the whole Italian back. I got to ask you about Tommy DeVito. That's all I got to ask you. He's a Jersey kid, so not to be confused with Staten Island. That's very touchy. This thing that he does with his hand, he said there's no word for it. There's no definition. What is that? How does Lou Anarumo define that move?
Yeah, when I see that, I think of, like, forget about it. It'd be like, forget about it. Forget about it. It means a lot of different things to people from that area. So I think that, but it's great that he's doing well. And, I can't imagine growing up in that area, being a Giant fan, and then actually being the quarterback. That must be something special for him and his family.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey, a few miles from MetLife Stadium, and clearly making a proud Italian Coach Lou proud out there with Tommy DeVito. Forget about it. Okay, game against the Jags. Let's get into it. Zach Taylor, Press Taylor. Okay, so there's a little something cooking there at least. What has been the talk in the building? Like, do you take Zach and sit him down and say, tell me everything about Press? What do I need to know? How does that go?
Yeah, well, Zach and I get together a lot, whether it's against his brother or not. So, we have conversations throughout the week about different blitzes, different coverages, and while he'll share information, he's certainly not holding back anything. No, it's been nothing. It's been a normal week as far as that goes. I watch the tape and see how he is as a play caller, Press that is, and if I had a question, I'd certainly go ask Zach. But no further than that. I think it'll be really interesting. I'll see those guys pregame, so it'll be fun to see him.
Coach, I feel like you're lying. I feel like there has to be a little more. Is that maybe you're not going to Zach, but is Zach sort of stopping by your office a couple extra times this week? Like, you good? You got it? You have it? Good. We got to get Press. There's got to be a little something extra.
I don't know. I just think it is what it is on this one.
Okay, I love that. So you're game planning against Trevor Lawrence this week. You've heard from a bunch of opposing defenders like Nick Bosa. I can't remember who else right now. Oh, Arden Key, that he's sort of like a one-read quarterback. That's the phrase that they use. Do you think that's a fair assessment, or are they underestimating Trevor Lawrence?
No, I think that's a little bit of an underestimation in my view. I mean, I see the guy work full field reads and, get the ball out on time. I just think what happens with him is he's such a great athlete that if there is a opportunity for him to run and there's not great rush lanes, then he takes it, which I don't fault him on at all. So, watch what he can do with his legs. But no, I've seen him make the reads, and we have great respect for him. His arm is really, really strong. He can make all the throws. And as I mentioned, he's a terrific athlete.
Which quarterback that you've planned for this season sort of surprised you the most, good or bad? Or who popped off where you're like, oh, okay.
I think, I would be crazy if I didn't say C.J. Stroud. I thought, he did well against us, and I wasn't really surprised. What I was surprised about was how calm he was during the game. He kind of came across as a veteran guy that had been there, seen that, and done it. So, his future is bright for sure. I was thoroughly impressed. I
love seeing that because their head coach is a defensive-minded guy, and DeMeco Ryans. So let's get to this portion of the program because it's got to be nice to see in this world where people want offensive-minded guys and whatever, no, this is time to bring sexiness back to the defensive-minded head coach, starting with DeMeco Ryans and maybe you, Coach, because I'll tell you this, I have been so endeared to and embraced by the Cincinnati Bengals fan base, and they have never been more angry with me than when I said, y'all got to get ready for life after Lou.
Well, yeah, that's nice of you. I appreciate that. But I just think right now, as you know, we're focused, and I'm focused on what's going on here and trying to win every game we can. We got such a great group of guys, and I would never want to let them down. And the feeling is the same way. I'd be lying if I didn't say certainly that stuff is on the back of my mind, and having gone through the process the last couple of years, I'm hoping after the season I'll get an opportunity.
We're all doing this in studio. We're all doing this in studio. I told DJ Reader that they have to stop hyping you up because they adore you. They love you. And there is something to being, you're not just the brilliant X's and O's, but you can lead a team. Players love you. What is the secret to getting these guys going, getting them motivated when maybe the chips are down, especially right now? Right now you were proving why you should be a head coach.
Yeah, I think that it starts, I learned a long time ago, I just think it starts with the relationship and the trust between each player and the coach. And if you can build trust, not just on the field, but off the field as well, when they know that you truly care about them as a person, these guys will run through a wall for you. And don't lie to them. Tell them the truth, even if the truth hurts. We all don't want to be uncomfortable, and you got to be comfortable having the uncomfortable conversations. And when you can do that as a coach, the players will respect you even more. If you just sugarcoat everything so that everything's always, copacetic, then that's where they know you're full of you-know-what. So to me, I try to keep it straight. I never lead them down the path that's not the truth, and let them know that I care about them, because I do, and that's just how I've been brought up, and that comes across in everything I do with our guys. And I love them, and the feeling's mutual, I know, and we just want to go out here and do a great job one game at a time and see where we end up.
I just love and you had a bunch of maniacs on your team. Trey Hendrickson is ridiculous.
Yeah, Trey is something, man. I'm so happy that he is a part of our team. When he crosses that line on Sunday, he flips a switch and he's a different human. He's built to rush quarterbacks, and he was born to do that for sure. And DJ and BJ Hill and Sam Hubbard and Logan and Jermaine inside, all the guys that we have really done a terrific job. Mike Hilton in the backhand.
Yeah. I'm getting killed, Coach, saying, no, Coach Lou can't go, Coach Lou can't, a lot of that. But then there's a lot of, he'll eventually be head coach somewhere. Eventually, y'all need to just face reality. Like you said, to be honest, this fan base has got to get ready for you to get all of the love. And people are also saying DeMeco Ryans, Antonio Pierce, defensive-minded coaches are doing their thing. Because I think there's more than room for that. It's working. Look at the Texans.
I couldn't agree more. And I just think at the end of the day, the leader of the team will be an offensive guy, defensive guy, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you better be able to stand up in front of the team, and they need to know that you have full command of the room and how you convey that message and how you move the team. Whether you're offensive or defensive, you don't have that skill. I think it'll be tough, but that's how I've always been, and that's worked for me.
And then you got to focus on Monday's game in Jacksonville. Big one. You guys are a game back. Go crush it. Make it happen. You're the best. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It's been great.
And now after this, Christian Kirk's going to tell me that he wants to score 2 touchdowns on you.
Get about it over here.
Forget about it, Christian Kirk. Joe Haden on the show after this. We appreciate you, Coach Lou. Proud Italian from Staten Island. Now we got to go. Joe Haden's never not on a golf course. Joe Haden lives on a golf course, literally. I would say all that stuff at the end needs to go out. Just stand in front of a team. Like, that was amazing. All of that's super great. He's great.
Looking forward to the opportunity. It's awesome, man.
Love him.
Dude, the chat's loving him. All the Bengals fans are like, shh.
I know, they're all mad.
They're mad.
Whatever.
But they even love him so much.
I know,
like,
guys, you gotta just let him go.
It's
like when, it's like when your work bestie gets a promotion. So you gotta be like, hey, go, run. What's up? Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. I would say we could. I would say we could save Christian for Monday, since it's a Monday game. Anybody think of that?
Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't watched it, the edited version, but I don't think there's anything that's not doable for Monday. So we would have 7 or 8. You make the call. Okay, sounds good. Let me get to it. Yep. Oh, wow, prompter back. Woohoo, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna do a little time for K-Makers. I've had my completion Cosmo. Thank you, Smirnoff 21. These are dudes that I think are going to score some touchdowns this week. Week 13, we went 3 for 3 on Thanksgiving. We had the turducken, so let's keep it going with Derek Henry. Up against the Colts defense that's allowed the 3rd most rushing touchdowns to running backs. Listen, he's been on a heater. Nobody's talking about it. We're always ahead of everything. He's going to get another one this week. Next up, Isaiah Pacheco at Green Bay. Eric, cover your little Packer-loving ears. They've gotten run on this year. They get run on all the time. I mean, come on. They're top 10 in rushing touchdowns allowed, so Pacheco's going to have a big day on the ground. Finally, Jalen Waddle with me. Let's do it, guys. He hasn't scored in over a month, I know, but the Commanders have allowed the most touchdowns to the receiver spot, just the most. The receiver spot is just like beautifully bringing points to your droughts as far as touchdowns. So these are my K-Makers. Anytime touchdown scores, go over to FanDuel Sportsbook. Have a little fun. Great.
Yeah, I think they're on. And
Can we skip the first question?
yeah, for sure.
And just go to the second?
Yeah, they're on Browns.
We're just going right to the second question.
Joe Haden. I'ma crush it, ayy. Intercepted. Joe Haden. There's no discussion, ayy. I'm even crushing you if you get in the way. Crush.
My next guest, 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. He played 12 seasons in the NFL for the Browns and Steelers, and he lives on golf courses across this great country. Joe Haden, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for taking the time. Listen, we got to start in Dallas. This win over the Seahawks last night, I felt like I was watching a soap opera, Joe. Deron Bland was the star of it. Tough 3 quarters of the game. What was Seattle? Come on, what was Pete Carroll? What was DK Metcalf doing out there to do this?
I mean, DK Metcalf is extreme. The dude is humongous. He was running great routes. He was throwing the ball on point. I mean, he was just doing a little bit of everything. And I was just happy for Bland to be able to, you get picked on. But him making all of these pick sixes, I played football for 12 years in the NFL, 3 years in college, and I've had 3 pick sixes in my entire lifetime. He has had 5 pick sixes in 11 games. So what he's been doing has been unbelievable. But DK Metcalf giving it to him in the first half. I mean, I played corner, so you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
Yeah.
So as long as you get yours at the end of the day, because you're playing against a dude he's making $30 million a year for a reason. He's one of the top receivers, one of those big guys. So, he's going to get his, but as long as you get yours too.
And he got his in the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys went ahead and won the game. The thing about that stands out to me about Bland is like he's so aggressive, right? And that's a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice to sort of play that way. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's sort of a gamble that you take. It's less risky if you can trust your offense, of course. Is this what Dan Quinn is coaching? Because Trayvon Diggs did the same thing.
I think that's just in the player, honestly. Those dudes have really, really good ball skills. They're attacking the ball. They're not making pass breakups. They're making game-changing plays. So that's something that's kind of in them. They're like, a pass breakup, it'll be 2nd and 13 instead of changing the game. They're like, I'm going to throw out these 2 hands. I might miss it, but I'm willing to take that chance. So they're just trying to make game-changing plays, and interceptions are so much more valuable than pass breakups, and those are the dudes that they understand what that means to their team.
Joe, is this approach potentially going to bite them? Because it is a risk, and they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith next week.
I think Micah Parsons is getting into him. I think at the end of the day, they have a clock in their head too. They know they're not going to be covering a guy for 5-6 seconds. So you can't break long routes. You can't undercut things because Micah Parsons is there trying to get after the quarterback, which he has a clock in his head. So just having the defensive line and pass rush work with the DBs, I think that's going to help them out a whole lot. And that's why they're able to take those chances, because the quarterbacks are knowing, I'm about to get hit upside my head. I'm going to throw this ball.
And Micah, they get the win, exciting game, big game for them, and he was tweeting that he's not happy, which is a great sign for the Cowboys defense ahead and what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. How cold was Metcalf's celebration?
It was amazing. It was amazing. The dude, me, I have a special needs son too, so I was just trying to figure out the sign language part, but he's a great celebration.
Oh, wow. I love that. He said that he learned sign language in his downtime because he was sick of getting fined. He got fined like a lick under $100,000 for celebrations and stuff like that, which is crazy.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I was getting fined for my socks and wearing visors like that, $7,000 a game, but right around 100, that's when I started this looking like a Under Armour mannequin walking in there. No fines at all.
Love that. Okay, we got to get into this matchup. We got to get into some of the Browns talk because this is this is kind of a full circle moment for you. You're golfing. You want to know who's not? Joe Flacco. Okay, and Joe Flacco is still. He's 38. He's still somehow around. And this is the quarterback that you, my friend, picked off the most as a Cleveland Brown, and now he's kind of the starting quarterback for this team. This is crazy. I mean, they used to call you Joe Flacco's kryptonite.
I know. I think the one thing, he's been doing it for a long time. I played against him in the division, and like you said, I definitely had a lot of picks against Flacco. But the one thing he did, he gave his wide receivers opportunities. And I think with Amari Cooper, with those dudes, just taking some shots down the field, giving them a chance to win, those 50-50 balls with Amari are going to be more times than not, he's going to win those. So I don't think it's a bad thing for him to be there, because I think they need a live arm to give those guys, Joku, more opportunities. Give him chances to make plays on the ball.
Do you know how many total interceptions you had against him?
I would think around 5.
You had 5.
Yes.
You thought right around 5. And let's see, what was that? Oh, you had 3 interceptions in 2 games in 2016. You had a big year against Joe.
Yeah, literally those are my only 3 picks that season.
Yet somehow you have faith in him, like is the defense that good?
I do. Yes. Oh my goodness, for sure. Well, are you talking about the Browns defense?
Yeah,
correct? Myles Garrett. Oh my goodness, the defensive backs, Denzel, Newsome, Emerson Jr. All of those guys are playing extremely well, and they're one of the best defenses in the league statistically, and they've been playing like it. So I definitely believe in them, and I think if Flacco's out there and gives those dudes opportunities, Kareem Hunt, continues to tote the ball. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. So, I mean, I'm loving what the Browns are doing.
Let's get to your former coach, Mike Tomlin. You two got to catch up a couple weeks ago. I saw it. You dapped each other up. They got the win over the Rams. This week, my friend, I picked Coach Tomlin as my Coach of the Year. This man has never won Coach of the Year. What?
I didn't even know that. That makes no sense. They need to give it to him now, because he should never. How can he go all these years without winning Coach of the Year? And it's obvious with some lack of talent we've had on some of the teams, injuries, and still not to have a losing season in his career is unbelievable. And then with the team we have now, the team he has now, not having over 400 yards in the last 15 games, getting outgained every game of the season and still having a winning record. I mean, it just goes to he's a great leader of men. And he's not worried about the bull. He's not worried about the little stuff. What really matters: did we win the game? Did we lose the game? And how can we figure we can get better off of that? But at the end of the day, we won, and it's a whole lot easier to correct things after you win a game than lose a game.
Yeah, and just for the drama he's handling. There's the Pickens drama. There's the Deontay Johnson drama. There's the Canada drama. Picking on Pickett drama. Like, take your pick, and he's handling it okay. So here's my question, my last one for you before you go tee off here, wherever you are, and it looks beautiful, and it's great to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Who do you have more confidence in? You got the Texans coming. You got the Broncos are looking good. If you had to pick between the Steelers and the Browns and who's going to make the playoffs, who would you pick?
With my heart, it would be the Browns. With my brain, it would be the Steelers because of Coach Tomlin. I just can't root against him. I can't go against him. He's my favorite coach I've ever had in my life. And I just think his coaching style is amazing. I think the players, maybe the players that the Browns have with the talent, I think they might be a little better. Yeah. But I just can't go against Tomlin with that. But I think both of them are going to make the playoffs, honestly.
I think you don't have faith in Joe Flacco, who you picked off more than any other quarterback as a Brown. That's what I really think.
I mean, I think if Deshaun Watson was there, then I think it would definitely say.
We appreciate you, Joe. Enjoy your golf. Enjoy your life. Go hit the links. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you ever want to come in studio or sit down at any point, let us know. We love him. We have Christian Kirk on the show after this. I don't ever want him not on a golf course when he comes on. He's so funny.
I watched his from the last two times he was
I knew
on.
he was going to say both.
Yeah.
But cute. It's a hard question.
It is.
They're both very flawed teams.
Yeah.
It's not about who's going to make the most noise when they're in. Who's going to get in?
Browns have the tougher road, I think. This is big against the Rams. On the road?
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. Let's do it. All right, here's DF. Yes, I should not be giving advice right now because hundreds of thousands of you beat me in DFS last week. But these are dudes I think you might be able to pay for and figure up to shore up your lineup for Week 13. I'm going to say, it's not a value, but Tua at 8,400, you got to get him. Washington secondary, a disaster. If there was a week that you're going to have a 350, 400-yard game out of this guy, it's this week. At running back, James Conner in Pittsburgh. Listen, playing the Steelers for the first time since he left for Arizona. There's a little revenge factor there. The Steelers have a bottom 10 run defense this year, and I think he's going to show out against his former team. At receiver, I'm taking a swing at Jahan Dotson. I've taken a couple swings at Jahan Dotson starting in August until now, but mea culpa, not the breakout year that I expected, but I think Washington's going to be forced to air it out to keep up with Miami, so I do think he puts up some numbers. DF, yes. I think, no, go ahead. I think if Bailey's listening, the bite about, I'm trying to think if there was one thing what was the thing he said that I wanted out there? Oh, the thing about Joe being in that meeting?
Yeah.
Is that out there? I don't even know if we need the video of it, just the written thing. If it's not yet, that should be out there. That was great. I got these shoes at Dick's Sporting Goods. I did. On my supermarket suite.
Oh, just had the cart going around.
If you knew how many people asked me if that was real, you'd be shocked. Because you shoot the commercial overnight.
Yes.
So you get there at 8, and then you don't shoot till 11. because they have to close the store, clean the store, make it beautiful. It's an incredible thing to watch. And so the store looks like beautiful and pristine, and it's like night at the museum. So you want to, my dream would be to just like have 2 minutes to just do whatever I want, like take whatever I want, and like that's mine. Yeah.
Just getting locked in a store.
I know. I got it. Christian Kirk's having a career year. He was highly paid, highly criticized, not anymore. Now he's got a big spot on Monday Night Football up against the Bengals at home for the first time since 2011. And guess what? He has experience, and he's ready. 2-game lead in the division. You're averaging career highs. You're on pace to beat your over 1,000 yards from last year. Like, y'all are sitting pretty. Is it just relaxing right now?
I wouldn't necessarily say relaxing, especially off the game that we came off of, beating Houston, big divisional win. I feel like there's a lot of sense of urgency in the building just because, we know where we're sitting, we know the opportunity at hand, and, we got a big game coming up on Monday night. So we want to make sure we're putting our best foot forward on the national spotlight.
Now, I know the fans are losing their minds. I mean, it's been 12 years. Not since 2011 have the Jags played on Monday Night Football. You have, of course, but let's get into sort of what the vibes are in the building. Are y'all feeding off of that?
Most definitely. I think, we Doug in the meeting the other day had asked people to raise their hand who in this building had played in Monday Night Football as a Jaguar, and none of the players were able to raise their hands. So that just goes to say that, this is a unique opportunity, but also it's a credit to all the hard work and, dedication to kind of turn things around and, put ourselves in position to play in, games like this. So, the better we get, the more successful we are as an organization, we'll have more opportunities like this. So everybody's excited.
It was 2011. You were, I believe, a freshman in high school.
Yeah, I'll be
the last time. What was Christian Kirk like back in his freshman year of high school?
I was short and skinny. I was probably like 5'4", $140. No, you would not look at me and think future NFL player. That's for sure.
I mean, Christian, the real question is, what are the cleats going to look like?
Ooh, I definitely have the My Cause My cleats. I'll be wearing ones for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network and in honor of my grandfather who's been battling pancreatic cancer. So that's very near and dear to my heart. So I'll be out there rocking those. They're purple, so hopefully they'll stick out and people will be able to notice them.
I wonder if those My Cause My cleats are going to they've got like a little extra touchdown juice to them because it's been a minute. Week 7.
I know.
Listen, when you're right, you almost had one. I mean, that what was it, like 57-yard catch and run was ridiculous last week.
Yeah, I was like a toenail away from being in the end zone. That one was tough because I definitely wanted to get in there. It has been a while, but maybe I've just been waiting for Monday Night Football to get in the end zone.
Did Doug Peterson stand in front with that visor on, that pedigree? Did he stand and tell people what your stat line is on Monday Night Football?
No, he did it.
I gotta call Doug. Let me tell. Listen, Josh Allen, Trevor, ETN, 172 and 2 tugs in 2 games.
That's not bad. That's. I'll definitely need to add to that. I would like the 2 touchdown part. I'd like to make 2 touchdowns, make it 4, but we'll see. If there's a time and a place to do it, it's definitely on Monday Night Football.
What kind of an opportunity does this present for Trevor Lawrence, who, of course, ballin', y'all are crushing it, but it is a big stage?
Yeah, I mean, Trevor just never wavers. So for him, he just doesn't blink. I know he's going to approach it the same way he approaches every other week. But I know, one thing about Trevor, he definitely does carry a chip on his shoulder. And, I definitely think that he wants to continue to prove that, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, which I, of course, 100% believe. So he's going to be ready to go. And, if he plays anywhere close to how he played last week, I definitely think that, he's going to have a successful night.
Did that playoff game against the Chargers, did it change your team in a way that you still feel right now?
100%. Just because, some of the best things, and this Doug always talks about it, some of the best teams and the best teams are all player-ran teams. And teams with players that come together and truly like love one another, care about one another, and go out, and no matter what, when adversity hits, they got each other's back, and they're going to do whatever they can, to make sure the person next to them are at their best. And I think that was a great example of it. When we played the Chargers, that's all it was just all of us banding together and having one another's back, and just leveling up our level of performance. And so that's what we've done throughout this year at a more consistent level, is just learning how to win and just banding together and just demanding excellence, holding people accountable day in and day out.
This big Bengals game, they have to come to town, but that defense is going to try to step up and do whatever they can. Whose name's being mentioned the most? Whose name is popping off the film as you prepare for this one on Monday night?
Well, I think, they have a lot of guys, and it starts with up front. Hendrickson, the guys in the interior, and then, their linebackers, Mike Hilton, their nickel, he does a really good job of being able to disguise his blitzes, and, they do a lot with him. And so, they might be a little younger on the back end, but, they're competitive. They play with a lot of swagger, and they make plays. And, that's one of the things that jumps off the film, for me when I watch them. So, we definitely got to be ready, and they're going to be coming in here, trying to prove a point, and, regardless, without Joe or not, it's the NFL. It's hard to win regardless. So, we're going to be ready, and I know they will be too.
And then, I got to ask you, do you have a defensive player of the year in your locker room?
Hey, I definitely think so. I don't know what everybody else is looking at, but the numbers speak for itself. The numbers speak for itself. And at this rate, if he's on the same pace, if he keeps going at the same pace he's going at now, I don't know how you could argue it. And he does it in the biggest games too. So, I mean, let statistics speak for itself.
You just called him out. Biggest game maybe of the year. You're the best, Christian. Thank you so much for the time. And I hope your grandfather's feeling okay.
Thanks, Kay. I appreciate the time.
Incredible player. Wish him all the best. And I got to say, am I going to pick between the Bengals and Jags? Probably not. Maybe on Monday. That's the Monday Night Football matchup. Eagles week, Niners week. Who wins this? My favorite part about the show is that I just get to drink Smirnoff 21 and not answer. I don't have to say who wins. I just get to sit back and enjoy. Okay, big game. Texans, Broncos. This week the Texans sent me something. Oh, look at these AF1s. Oh my gosh, they gave me AHA ones, American Heart Association. I love this. It's My Cause, My Cleats. Texans, thank you. This is amazing. Of course, I haven't talked about this. My dad just had a heart procedure earlier this month. And so for over almost 100 years, the AHA has been helping fight heart disease and stroke. And it's like the #1 killer in the U.S. So big thanks to everything they do. And these are so sick. Thanks, Texans, and good luck.